Did I brush you off? Is it your lack of friends? We never met. Even if you pretend, am I in your debt? I don't owe you nothing. Don't say something you'll regret. Hey, rage, don't waste it on me. Spite, lies telling you, don't waste it on me. Hate, rage, don't waste it on me. Spite, lies telling you, don't waste it on me. Rage, don't waste it on me. Spite, lies telling you, don't waste it. I'm telling you, don't waste it. Lies telling you, don't waste it on me. What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let 'em burn it out. Sell 'em to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, we kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away. Burn away, we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, hate is based the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill
Welcome to the Throttle Up Racing Network. We've got a special race for you tonight. This is the qualifying races for the big 180-minute figure eight endurance race that's going to be happening tomorrow night. Alongside of me, Jamie Dunning. How you doing tonight, Jamie?
I am doing good, Mr. Camper. How are you today, sir?
Oh, doing great. Ready for some action here in the crossover. I'm going to see a lot of big wrecks as we go through this center section. All night long, the qualifying races going to be 50 laps, I believe. And the top 11 will advance along with the top qualifier. So whoever qualifies first in qualifying here in a minute, they're going to get the automatic jump to the main event tomorrow night. Won't have to go through this race or the last chance qualifiers, and then the 11 behind. So it looks like currently we've got 16 drivers in here. So it looks like maybe 4 are going to have to go to that final qualifier and try for a last chance to race in. Here's our lineup for these 2 races tonight. We've got a lot of drivers from the state of Indiana. I was sent a driver's list earlier, I believe, of these drivers. I believe there was like 19 from the state of Indiana. So figure eight racing, very popular up in that region. Now these guys will qualify. This is not how they'll start in the races. This is just who is in what race. So find your favorite person. Here in a minute, we'll go into a small intermission as we switch from the first race into the second race after this race is over. So this is where all the drivers will be, either in the first race or the second race. And this is what we're racing for. You see all the purse up there listed up top. And then there's several awards as we go through the night. Not tonight, but tomorrow night. The only award we're given tonight will be the fast qualifier of each of these qualifying races. As you can see, we've got a lot of sponsors for this event. They're sponsoring these different winnings and prizes. Let's take a look. We got quite a few drivers out there. This is Dawson Hess. Dawson currently 5th quickest. Currently the fastest out there, Robert Kelm, the number 48 machine. Garrett Fox, he's 2nd quickest, and then number 85. Now as we go through, these drivers are going to try and get into a rhythm, kind of like, these street stocks are meant to be on ovals. So as you're an oval driver, you get into a rhythm, and road course too. You get into that rhythm left, right, and you're going to try and get into that rhythm in this race tonight. But as you get into that crossover and you see someone coming, that's going to throw you off that rhythm. If you have to hit the brakes or if you have to swerve or try to avoid somebody, that's going to throw you out of that rhythm. So it's going to be a real toss-up for who wins these races. Dawson Hess has now moved up into the 3rd quickest. So we've got about 30 seconds left until qualifying. We're going to see a lot of wild wrecks tonight. 58 of James Fox. beating and banging alongside Dawson Hess. Gary Cronenwet, I'm assuming is how you say that. He's currently 6th quickest. Michael Accord up there 7th quickest as we get ready to start qualifying. Take a look at now some of the drivers beginning to be on track. Garrett Fox out there running. I was watching a practice race last night, Jamie, and as they're diving into these corners, especially the right-hander, they are locking up these front tires, and smoke was rolling from the front of these cars.
Yeah, from what I've seen so far, that's what looks like it's going to be happening in that right-hand turn, is that they're going to have to lock it up and hopefully not, drift up into the wall or into other competitors. As stated in the setup, these guys will have 2 fast repairs for their qualifying races, and tomorrow night's big race, I believe they have 10 fast repairs if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Jamie, 2 fast repairs tonight, 10 fast repairs tomorrow, and neither one of these races have cautions. So if you need that fast repair, if you get creamed coming through the crossover and you have to take a fast repair, no caution. So you may go 2 laps down, and as the race comes down towards the end, you may have a 2 or 3 lap lead, especially the 180-minute race. You may have a 3 or 4 lap lead over 2nd place, but if you get creamed or run out of fast repairs, then you're done for, and they're going to catch up.
Yeah, that's the crossover is what's going to make this race very interesting. It's all strategic here, as in if you're racing for the win in the Saturday night's big race, are you going to attempt to, hit the first place driver in front of you so you can take them out so you can win, or what are you going to do? I mean, that's what makes the figure 8 racing very fun to watch and also be in.
Absolutely. You see that dive through the corner and smoke from Tyler Brown's car. He's currently 2nd quickest. Garrett Fox looks like he's on the pole right now. Still got a few out there qualifying. Yeah, I tuned into the practice race last night, and it was like lap 3, and they already sent someone about 400 feet in the air. So these iRacing cars fly a lot higher than real-life cars, so we're going to get to see some spectacular wrecks as we go through the night and tomorrow night.
We hope not to see it, but yet again, then we do. That's the whole point of a figure 8 race, is the crossover.
Absolutely. That crossover makes it all exciting. The 69 running a bandit scheme. The old Trans Am. He's currently 9th quickest. We'll take a ride along this number 8. See what he's seeing as he goes around this figure 8 track. Left-handers, right-handers, currently 7th quickest on that first lap. See how he does on the 2nd. Gets right down next to those cones. Oh, gets loose out of that corner. Comes back across the line. Looks like he's going to hold on to the 7th spot. As the time winds out, it looks like Garrett Fox going to be the top qualifier. Here's one new car out there, Ben Tunney. Let's see what Ben can do. See if he can knock Garrett Fox off the top qualifying spot. Remember, top qualifier will advance straight to the main event. Can race in tonight's race, but can move on. Of course, there is a prize for the winner of each qualifying race, so might as well hang on. And he doesn't have time to finish as we run out of time and we begin the race. So Garrett Fox going to be the winner of the pole award. So he'll be able to advance straight into the main event tomorrow night. We'll have to see if he does choose to log in or if he chooses to go ahead and just skip out. There he is. And your pole sitter, Garrett Fox, gonna advance straight to the main. Tonight we're taking the top 11 finishers to go on into the main event. Lining up second, Dakota Bro. James Fox, the second, rolling off third. Tyler Brown in fourth. Ryder Gardner is gonna start fifth. Sixth place, Nick Dwarnick. Seventh, Gary Cronenwet. Eighth, Michael Accord. Start ninth, Dawson Hess. 10th is Matt Wilkinson. Ben Tunney starting 11th. Jacob Meckelfresh, that's in 12th. Robert Kelm rolling off 13th. He was quick in practice. 14th, William Bartholomew. 15th, Brent Huffman. 16th spot, Cody Bullock running off from the back of the field. So as we get rolling, gonna be a 50 laps, no cautions. The top 11 will advance. And that's not including Garrett here, so it may be the top 12 if Garrett finishes in the top 11. There goes the pace car as they roll around one more time. And it'll be on Garrett Fox as to when he wants to start. There they go, green flag for Garrett Fox down into turn one. Cones already flying. We'll have to see just how quick. Oh, the 58 around. Up on his side, already rolling. James Fox already taking a flip.
Yeah.
Several other cars. Go ahead.
I was just going to call out the spin-out cars in the right-hand turn as they're coming into the crossover.
Looks like the 76 Ryder Gardner was involved. Gary as well. Another one around. Several up here. 48 and the 13. All going around. We haven't even got to the action in the crossover yet. They're already spinning each other out, going through, and oh, very close as they cut it. These cones are flying at every corner. There's the one. Several cars involved. Cars are everywhere. "17 of the 15 involved in one." They're all fighting for those top spots. Right now it's going to be 12th position is what we're looking at, as Garrett Fox still leading. They all cross through. 14 heading to the pits.
I do not know how they made that through the crossover. That was tight right in there. Like easily 6, 7, maybe 8 cars fit through that crossover.
Yeah, no clue on that one. They are. Now Garrett Fox looks like he's going to pull down, and not real sure what that was. He's slowing down. He's up 5 seconds over second spot. You'll see these cars, sometimes they'll slow down as they get through. Looks like Fox is going to go ahead and take his advancement to the main feature and move on. He's now moved down out of the top 11. So now we are looking at the top 11. They are beating and banging 3 wide, the 67. He goes high. That's Dawson Hess. Now the 48 around. Robert Kelm, he's a lap down. Dakota Bro out front in the 52. Coming around these lap cars.
We have an incident in the crossover with the 67, and I did not quite catch to see who the other car was. I think he advanced down the track.
They already, looks like they already towed. They're quick to get out of there. 69 slipping around. That's Wilkinson currently 4th.
Looks to be that the 76 Ryder Gardner has blown his motor as he hits
turns off
pit road. Another big accident in the crossover.
Oh, the 63 holds up the leader. Can the 5 catch him? Oh, the 13. I believe that's actually the 5, so. No, there's your second place. He's already missing his nose. Tony, he's 3rd now. 58 of Fox just in front. He's in 2nd. They're all chasing the 52. Now 3 wide down on the bottom. We're 13 laps in. Dakota Bro almost 3 seconds out in front of the 58, trying to run him down. '52 just holding the bottom line, letting everybody else kind of shoot up the track as they dive it into these corners. See some of these cars really slowing up as they get to the crossover, trying to be smart. Michael Accord, one of those. He's in 2nd now, as the 58 involved in a heavy accident. Take a look at that. 58 comes through and, oh, side swipes. Dakota still out front. Quite a bit of damage to that car. But he's got a 10-second lead over 2nd of Michael Accord. 14 a little slow on the track there. Like he maybe have spun it around. They come through the crossover. 63 involved in an incident. Oh, one flipping. Ben Tunney uses one of his faster pairs. He's now back out on the track, 11th place, 3 laps down. Dakota maintaining the lead over Michael Accord. Currently Ben Tunney, he's 11th. And that right there is the battle for advancement between these two cars right here. Looks like an 8 on the side. He's the 01 of Gary Cronenwet, and just in front of him, Ben Tunney. Actually, Tunney is a lap ahead of the 01. So gonna need someone to crash for the 01 to make it. James Fox now, he returns. We had an incident there at the crossover. Let's take a look.
Our leader Dakota has spun out into the right-hand turn.
.52 now 21 seconds ahead. He passes the 17. That puts second place a lap down as these cars now all flying multiple crashes. The 17 blows his engine. Let's go back and take a look at that as several cars involved. The 15 and the 14, the 69 and the 45. Several cars go flipping. See him sliding those tires going into the corners. Fox has now made it in. He's currently sitting 11th. Actually, he moves on up to 8th as several cars having to sit in the pits. James Fox back in now. William Bartholomew sitting on the pits. He is the last car in as Gary, he's coming in, and he's in 12th.
It seems to be that the 52 of Dakota has blown his motor and is entering pit road right now to use one of his fast repairs.
So Dakota Bro in the pit lane. Didn't have to tow, so that's really good for him as he's now 27 seconds in the lead. Let's see how quickly he can get out of the pits. Now new leader, number 13, Jacob McElfresh. I'm sure I'm ruining that last name. Number 13, Jacob. He takes the lead. Dakota entering back in. He's only 2 seconds now. No, now it has him scored as the leader. So we'll have to wait and see. Jacob had to go into the pits, so that's why he's moving down the leaderboard.
Yeah, Jacob was involved in an accident in the crossover. He was upside down on his lid, so he had to tow back to the pits. Very unfortunate for him as he battled all the way back into the lead.
Dakota out front by a lap over Hess in the 67. Garrett Fox back in, so now 12th is where the advancement is, and 12th, 2 laps ahead of 13th. That's Cody Bullock in the number 18. Dakota Bro currently out there leading by over a lap over Dawson Hess. And there's the 13 back out. He's 7th. Still advancing through, even though he had to pit. While these cars stopping as they come through, they don't want to get involved in a wreck. Probably already used both their fast repairs. We saw Bartholomew in the pits earlier. He's 8 laps down, so he cannot afford to wreck again. Oh, very close call. Currently, the cutoff position is going to be 12th. Bullock still in. Gary here in this number 8 car scored as 01. That's the first driver out right now. You see 67 of Hess. He's 2nd on the board. Now just how much quicker he is. Bullock just in front of him, but he's actually a lap ahead. Your pole sitter out there. He's driving back up through the field after stopping earlier. He's in 8th spot. Oh, the 58 around. That's James Fox as he sits. About to get it going. There he goes. James Fox now in 6th spot. Only 15 laps to go here at Irwindale as we're going figure 8 racing. Dakota in the 52 out front. Setting sail 17 seconds ahead of Hess. One around. That's the 14. And he's in danger back in 10th. Gets it back going. We're still looking at 12th as the cutoff spot. Cody Bullock in right now. .13, 3 laps. Now 2 laps behind, but Bullock goes around. Does he get hit? No damage from the spin. You see cars in front crashing. The 63 and the 14 involved in an incident at the crossover. Oh, once again, around goes Bullock. He throws it in reverse, spins it around. Bullock now only a lap ahead of Kelm. Robert Kelm coming now, only 1 lap behind the cutoff spot. Kelm was fast in practice, but had some incidents during the race. Sticks him back in 13th, looking to try and get around the blue car of Bullock. We've seen Bullock go around twice. And if you watch us on Wednesday night, Cody Bullock races in the Cup Series for the Rebel Racing League. Trying his best here at some figure 8 racing as he's currently in the main event. See hard turns. Oh, a car cuts right through the middle. Just cutting through on the crossover. And Bullock, he looks like he's very loose, has worn those tires out. And Kelm there just behind is going to have to pick up a whole nother lap. With only 8 laps to go. Oh, big incident there. 48 involved. That was Kelm.
Our race leader was involved in a incident in the crossover, but he's back rolling to finish off this race. We also have another big incident at the crossover. It looks like the 4 is involved, and another car didn't quite catch the number.
Several rollovers. There, the 85 was one of them, as well as the 58. Go crashing into each other. So we're looking at 12th spot right now. Robert Kelm is in. In the 12th position. And he's 2 laps ahead of 13th. A couple of these cars have crashed out in front of him. Dakota still out front. Oh, he goes spinning. As he was trying to check up as he reached the crossover, he goes around Hess, trying to catch up. Now 16 seconds out. We'll have to see once Bro gets rolling where they'll end up. And now James Fox, he's sitting in 11th. He's in right now. Now he's 12th. So this is the cutoff spot with only 2 laps to go. Can Gary catch up 2 laps? I don't think so. Dakota out front. They come around on the last lap. Dawson Hess second. Ben Tunney just behind. He's running third, but he's a lap down. And Dakota in the 52. And he'll cross the line, and he will win the first qualifying race. And Gary did get enough. It looks like he may advance as he's scored 12th. Everybody crashing into each other now. So winner Dakota Bro, second Dawson Hess, Ben Tunney. All these drivers will advance. Matt Wilkinson, Jacob Meckelfresh, Garrett Fox on the fast qualifier, Tyler Brown, Michael Accord, Cody Bullock, Robert Kelm, Brent Huffman, and Gary Cronenwet. Those are going to be the few that advance. James Fox, Nick Dwarnick, William Bartholomew, Ryder Gardner will all have to go to the last chance qualifier. So we'll move over to race 2. We will be right back.
Living every day in your head for free. You can tap away, but I will not hear you scream. You can break the keys, spread your toxicity, your world outside reality. In your room, a little hideaway, but you let it through. rage. Don't waste it on me. Spite. Life's telling you, don't waste it on me. Don't waste it on me. Life's telling you, don't waste it. I'm telling you, don't waste it. Life's telling you, don't waste it on me. What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let 'em burn it out. Sell 'em to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it to back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it to the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake it to the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it to the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake it to the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
All right, and we are back for race number 2. Ending up in practice. We got about 4 minutes left in this second practice. And that first race, Jamie, was pretty wild, don't you think?
That is for sure. It was a wreck fest in that crossover. We easily seen everybody probably use both of their fast prepares during that race. You had cars slipping and sliding in the corners. You had guys full sending it in the crossover, not caring what was coming or what was on the other side of that crossover. It was nuts.
Absolutely was nuts. And after watching that first race, I went through and changed a couple of our camera angles. So now we'll have a couple of camera angles right on that crossover. As I was watching the first one, I realized that I really didn't have a great look at it. So adjustments for the second race. Gonna have a good look at this crossover, and hopefully we'll see some of these drivers go airborne.
Do you think that these drivers in the second race are going to be more cautious after watching the first qualifying session go up, or do you think they're just going to do the same thing and whip around this track and just gain as much spots as they can and hopefully stay clean?
I think that anybody that chooses to try to keep their car clean is probably going to advance. I think my goal in this race would be to just get to the main feature. But in just 50 laps, a lot of those drivers use their 2 fast repairs. So it kind of makes me wonder how many cars are going to go through 10 fast repairs tomorrow night, as we witnessed a whole lot of carnage in that first race.
Yeah, that's a very good question. 10 fast repairs for 180 minutes. That doesn't seem like it's possible for some of these drivers to be able to keep going for the full length of the race. But you never know. I mean, maybe tomorrow's race you'll see guys braking going into the crossover instead of trying to make it through full throttle. But you never know what's going on in these drivers' heads. They are out here having fun and putting on a show for everybody that's watching, and that's what all these drivers care about, is making everybody happy that watch this broadcast.
You're absolutely right, Jamie. I think tomorrow they'll be a little more cautious, especially towards the beginning. But tonight we're seeing these guys go all out. They're sending it into the corners. People are wrecking in the corners. I'd say more wrecks happen through the turns than actually happened in the crossover last race, as they were diving into the turn 1. That's where we're showing right now, turn 1, and the right-hander as well, because you slide those tires into the right-hander. I don't think a lot of these guys are used to right-hand turns.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. A lot of these guys are probably oval drivers, and just like you and I, and when we go to a road course, we can't turn right, but we can turn left really well. So I'm sure that's what these guys are having a little bit of complication turning right, but 50 laps or 3 hours of running, and they'll have it down to a pat that if they were here to race again, another 3-hour race, they'll be putting down quick lap times.
Absolutely, and for those that don't do iRacing, you have separate license classes. You have oval, dirt oval, road courses, and like the rally crosses, which is like a dirt road. That's the different licenses, and these are oval cars, and the figure 8 technically is under the road license. So this is a road course, because you've got that as many right-hand turns as you do left-hand turns, even though it's only 1 each.
Yeah, as you said, these cars, these street stock cars in the oval class are made for turning left, so it's kind of hard for these cars to be able to turn right due to the fact of the manufacturing of them. But this seems like in the first race, these guys had it down pat on what to do, braking points and angles to make the corners every lap, and we'll see how these guys do as they go out for qualifying right now.
First out on track, Ty Leclerc. In the number 33. He looks very fast. We'll have to see as we go across the line. He's in his low 21s. That's pretty quick. Jacob Brown second right now. Xtreme Downs in the 4. He's out there 2 seconds behind current pole sitter Ty Leclerc. And once again, the fastest qualifier will advance straight to the main feature. Josh Logsdon, currently that fast qualifier. Simon Grill's another one we cover on Wednesday nights. He pushes it through and spins out. Timothy Perkins, he's out there currently 8th quickest in the 59. Jeremy Wall outrunning 11th. John Baker 14th. Up in the 14. He's running 12th currently. Josh Logsden, still your fast qualifier. You see that right front locked up as he goes through that right-hand turn. There's Brayton Laster. He's the one that's putting a lot of this stuff together, and I've been working with him all week long. He's done a great job putting this whole event together. So great job, Brayton. And we'll have to see if he can get out there and win one of these. All right, Barrett Morton. He's in the 13th position. We've got 15 drivers in this race. We've got 2 minutes until we get going, Jamie. What are your predictions? Do you think that they're going to be a little more cautious, or do you think that it's going to be more of the same?
I mean, personally, if this was me, you know, it's a qualifying race. Yeah, you want to make it in, but this is not where the money shows. So I'm gonna have some fun if I was racing, and I'm sure that what the boys are going to do here as well. They're going to have some fun. They're going to put the throttle down and just let's see what happens when they hit that crossover. I would like to mention that in the right-hand turn, as you see, a lot of the cars have flipped into that turn. When they hit the brakes and try to make the apex into the corner, a lot of them, you see the right front wheels coming off the ground. And that's going to be a hassle for these guys as trying to make that corner and also keeping all four wheels on the ground as well.
Yeah, these guys invited me to a practice race. It's been a couple of weeks ago, but I went out there and ran, I think it was a 50-lap race alongside of some of these guys, and I had that same issue driving through, because this is an open setup, so these guys have to set their own setups because the figure eight doesn't have a fixed setup for the street stock car. So open setup, I was in there trying to figure out different road course setups to try and get one that worked for this track, but I had the same issue diving into that right-hand turn and just the car flipping. Catches those tires and all that momentum and rolls you right over.
Exactly. I think I've seen it like 3 or 4 times in the first qualifier, and that's going to be the key in the right-hand turn, is just making sure you don't hit the bottom of that apex so you can send your car rolling up to the track.
All right, we are getting ready to grid up and get started. You see them all popping in there. Your fast qualifier with the automatic advancement. That's the number 5 of Josh Logsden. He will lock himself into the field for tomorrow night's main feature. So we're looking for the top 11 finishers, not including Josh Logsden. So if he's in the top 11, we're looking for the top 12 to advance. So rolling off for first place, Josh Logsden. Second, Jacob Evenson. Charles Leclerc third, Jacob Brown in fourth. Will Brown is in fifth. Jeremy Wall hasn't gridded in yet, but he's sixth. Simon Grills in seventh. Eighth, Brayton Laster. Ninth, Justin Swafford. 10th, Timothy Perkins. 11th, Frank Wade. John Baker rolls off 12th. Barrett Morton in 13th. Garrett Britton starts 14th. And Treeman Downs, he is starting in 15th position. So 15 cars and 12 will advance, including that fast qualifier of Josh Logsdon. There's Jeremy in 6th place. So we'll have to watch Josh Logsdon as he gets going. He'll be that control car on the restart. All right, it's a crapshoot, Jamie. Who's your pick?
I'm going to go with the man, the myth, the legend, the main guy that set this all up. I'm going to go with the 113 of Brayton Laster. I'm sure he has a way of getting around this track quickly and being clean as possible.
All right, I'm going to pick a guy that we cover on Wednesday nights. It's already got front end damage and we haven't even started yet. That's Simon Grills. Starting right next to your guy, Brayton there, 7th and 8th. Now we're green flag. Josh Logsdon leads him off, and one car already around. That's Jacob Brown, sideways, left and right. 14-3 also. Crash into the side of the 12. The 051 now, sideways, hits into the side of the 15 of Jeremy Wall. 051 now back to 4th. That's Jacob Evanson. Josh Logsdon keeping it out front as we're getting close. You see, he had to check up, and the 33 runs into the back of him as they come near that crossover. One around. We're getting close to having some action. There goes one around. Josh Logsdon remains the leader. One car stopped there, the 11, and he gets T-boned. He'll have to go in and pit, but he is already advanced. Jeremy Wall now, your new leader.
As we have a car flipping, doing somersaults all through the crossover. I cannot quite get the number. I don't know if he towed all the way back in already or he's somewhere. I can't see him anywhere.
Cars flipping everywhere. They hit that reset button, go straight to the pits.
Yeah, Dakota, I think we guessed wrong that these boys aren't going to take it easy.
No, they're going all out here in the figure 8 out of Irwindale. There's your leader, Jeremy Wall, as we come around. You see the crossover. Not quite any action right now, as they're all spread out a little bit. Justin Swafford out second. Not far behind the leader, only 1 second out. So he's trying to run down that leader and get the W here in the second qualifying race. .14, he's a lap down in 12th. Our fast qualifier, he's out there. He's 13th right now. So if he isn't in the top 11, then we're just taking 11. Right now, Frank Wade in the 42. Already one lap down, but he's going to be the car that's the last to make it in. Seeing what action we've got. Here we go. Several cars check up. Somehow they make it through there. Wall still your leader. One car flipping. That's the 5. Already used a faster pair. Josh Logston goes flipping. Let's take a look at the number 5. We'll take an in-car cam. This is our gyro cam. So as he goes flipping, we'll stay still. There you go. What a wild ride with Josh Logston. Now he's in the pit lane. And our leader tags the car coming through the crossover, but he will continue. The 16 of Simon Grills blows his engine heading into the pits. Not going to make it, going to have to tow. Jeremy Wall still out front as we've got several cars down in the pit lane.
Seems to be the 42 of Frank Wade has blown his motor in the right-hand turn and also wasn't able to make it under power to the pits, so he had to tow back to the pits. So very unfortunate for him as he was running 10th at the time.
Yeah, Wade currently in the transfer spot in 11th. Morton, who is just behind him, he says out, not seeing him in the session. So we'll have to see what happened to Morton. And Josh Logston still out there. There's Logston. He's currently 12th. Britton, the car that's going to try and pass Frank Wade. He's the 11. He's looking as now Wade drops back into 12th. But he's still in the transfer spot because Josh Logston's the one who passes him. Now Evanson. Jeremy Wall still your leader. Oh, comes across, involved at the crossover. And that's our leader. Let's see what happens. He's still going. Heavy damage, avoids another collision. He's now out in second as Tyler Leclerc. Oh, he goes flipping. 16 involved. That's going to be a second blown engine for the 16. Tyler Leclerc flips it. Coming through the crossover. Now Jeremy Wall will retake the lead. We're seeing a lot of incidents. Here comes another one. Oh, as they make it through somehow, crossing right in between. Car is re-entering now. Jeremy Wall still the leader. See cars checking up as they get to that crossover, trying not to hit anybody, as we've still got 30 laps left in the second qualifying race. My pick, Simon Grills already used 2 faster pairs. So Simon Grills, if he gets back out here, gonna have to be extra careful. There goes one. That's the 051. And the 5 also comes up beside. Sliding into that right-hand turn. Now Simon Grill's back out on the racetrack, but he's already used both faster pairs. They're the leader involved in a big wreck in the crossover. Let's take a look. As he was getting past, he comes through. Big incident there. As we go back live, Simon Krill's trying to make it through, and another car around. Multiple cars getting hit in the crossover. There's now only a 3-second lead right now. Wall has over Will Brown in second. Will Brown now getting passed by Justin Swafford. That's the battle for second. That's when you reach halfway. It looks like Jeremy Wall with a... Oh, Justin Swafford spins Will Brown. Will Brown now back out on the track, and he's involved with Jeremy Wall, our leader. Wall comes through. As they were crossing as Will Brown was crossing the track. So we'll have to see. Jeremy Wall still out there running. Swafford trying to run him down. He's having some issues.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a payback there with the 84 and Swaff. As the 84 went through the crossover and moved into him to pay back for that little incident that was involved in the right-hand turn.
Oh, yeah. You call it right there. 84 and 09 getting together once again. Justin Swafford still out second. Jamie's pick of Brayton Laster now out third. He's very quick, making up time as he just got his lap back just a minute ago. Now only 9 seconds behind the leader on a 21-second lap. So making up a lot of time as Jeremy Wall has the whole front end gone off that car.
Yeah, if you ride around with Brayton, he is running a different line compared to what everybody else is, and I'm thinking that's what making him pretty much faster around this track compared to everybody else. He enters in wide and then ducks it down low and to maintain that speed into the corner.
Oh, and he gets hit by the 42. He goes around sideways. Now gets it spun around. Gets back going. Laster now 20 seconds out. Perkins, that's fourth position. Perkins now in third. Downs just behind. He moves up. And our leader, Jeremy Wall, trying to put all three of these guys a lap down, racing for the third spot. Brayton trying to hold on the outside of the Ford. No, he now goes to the inside, letting the Ford be a blocker as the Ford has to check up, but somehow Brayton gets through in the 113. Brayton checks up. Sounds like a big wreck at the crossover. We see Wall out to a 5-second lead over Swafford. All these cars making it through somehow right now. Swafford there in second in the 09. That was the leader that just went through the crossover. He checks up, and first and second collide, and a busted engine for the 09. Brayton Laster also involved in a wreck right there. Oh, one went airborne. Look at that, the number 11. Let's take a ride with the number 11 on this one. That's Garrett Britton as he comes through. He gets sent every bit of 400 feet into the air out onto the main speedway. Now sits in the pit lane. Currently out of this one. As Logsdon's in, Leclerc is your current last qualifier. He's also in the pits. So Britton has a chance to move in, but Leclerc and Britton both sitting in the pits getting damaged, as well as Brayton Lester in the 6th position. Now we watch the leader, Jeremy Wall, 21-second lead over Timothy Perkins. Those guys racing right in front of him. It's almost a second ahead. We've only got 12 laps to go. Jeremy Wall out to a huge lead. Running down second place to put him a lap down. And Jeremy Wall, I don't believe has used a fast repair yet.
That's what it seems like. He's still running strong, putting down some quick lap times and also maintaining speed through the corners as he's pulling away from the cars that are right next to him.
Now the 5 also, smoke coming from the 5 car. That our pole sitter, our fast time advancement. See him coming through. He's just going to keep running with only 10 laps to go. Run it till she blows. It's Leclerc. Oh, there they go. 5 with a big wreck. Gets T-boned through the crossover, goes flipping.
Yeah, I believe that was your pick that was involved. The 16 of Simon Grills, I believe he towed back to the pits, and that's very unfortunate, as I'm sure he already used both of his fast repairs, and he's sitting in P11 right now as we stand.
Yeah, Logsdon in front, so it'll be 12th as the cutoff. So Grills about 6 laps to the good with only 8 laps to go. Leclerc and Britton both still sitting in the pits. So Britton, with only 8 laps to go, is going to have to get out there and run 5 laps to get around Leclerc, who's still sitting in the pits. But I don't believe that's going to happen, as everyone else out there already out of this one. For the win, Jeremy Wall, he is a lap ahead of second place Timothy Perkins. Treman Downs in that bright green number 4. He's gained 12 spots since we started, so Treman Downs done a great job of keeping that car clean. He is a lap down. But so is... Go ahead. The leader looks like he's smoking.
That's what I was just about to say. It looks like our leader, his engine has finally quit. He was not having no front bumper and still taking a little bit of damage there in the crossover and in the corners. As he was just involved in an accident in the crossover as well. I don't know if it hurt his motor anymore or if it was just a little cosmetic damage on the side.
Looks like he was going through and just started smoking through there, so now he'll have to take it to the pit lane. That opens up the window with only 4 laps to go for Timothy Perkins. How quick can Jeremy Wall get out of the pits? Can he get that fast repair and get back out? Oh, Timothy Perkins gets hit and gets flipped over upside down. He's going to have to tow if that car doesn't flip back over, and it's not going to. It sits on its roof. Now Perkins has to tow. Can the number 4 of Xtreme Downs make the time up? Jeremy Wall already back out on the speedway, a lap ahead. So Perkins going to drop back now in 5th spot. Only 3 laps left. And Simon Grill's back out there to make sure he's good. Has the whole left front tire exposed.
I'm not sure if the 113 is having a little bit of issue with some hardware, or if he's just playing it smart and just sitting there. He says, I already made it, so why should I even bother to continue racing?
Possibly. He's takes off. We're on the last lap. Jeremy Wall out front. Nobody's got anything for him. Xtreme Downs a lap down. That will be the checkered flag for Jeremy Wall. Xtreme Downs will come around second. Will Brown, and that 84 will finish in third. Justin Swafford fifth. Frank Wade actually in fifth. Timothy Perkins sixth. Jacob Evanson, he comes around seventh. John Baker in eighth. Brayton Laster comes around ninth spot. Simon Grill's 10th. Josh Logsden, your fast qualifier, which means Tyler Cleric in the 12th spot, will advance to tomorrow night's main event. And these guys will have one more chance to qualify as we go through. So, Jamie, what are your thoughts on tonight's race?
My thoughts is holy smokes. I mean, carnage every inch of this track. You got people flipping in the right-hand turn. You got guys beating and banging in the left-hand turns, and then you got the most infamous part of the track, the crossover, where people are just full sending it, not caring what goes on. Who's going to be there? They're just making cars fly across the track, land in the main part of the track. It's just nuts here, and this is what a lot of people like to look forward to, is a lot of carnage when it comes to figure eight racing.
Absolutely. Jeremy Wall, your winner of this qualifying race. You see him doing his donuts down in the crossover. So tomorrow night we will be here for the last chance qualifier, as well as the main event, 180-minute figure eight race. We're going to see that right there for right at 3 hours. So an endurance race, it's going to be nuts. It's going to be crazy, just as Jamie says. Holy smokes. So tomorrow night, join us right here on the Throttle Up Racing Network. But before we go, I'd like to give a big thanks to our sponsors. Blaster Motorsports, CMS Motorsports, Inside the Track, IndyAutoRecyclers.com, Image 13 Photography, Northwest Figure Eight, and last, Next Level Designs. Thanks everyone for all the sponsors who sponsored this event. It's a great event. It's going to be a lot of fun. Tomorrow night, 180 minutes of figure eight racing right here on the Throttle Up Racing Network. And we will see you then.
When you're born into a fire,